becomes, takes a special, very, very unique dimension in the sense that, as you know, al-hajj al-mabrur laysa lahu jazaa'un ila al-jannah. So we would assume that the person coming from Mecca who has done the hajj properly would have what we call hajj mabrur. The person must have been completely cleaned of sins, filth and debts. So then one would expect that this person is spiritually nearer to God than people, you and I. We have not been to Makkah for some time now. So those that have just come fresh, spiritually speaking, are nearer to God subhanahu wa ta'ala, and therefore their prayers are, automatically accepted by God because of the fact that, normally what keep prayers away from being accepted, in most cases, is of the sin that human beings commit. So the more sinful a person is, the more the dirty a person is in terms of committing sin, the far away the person is from God. And the far away a person is from God, the very unlikely chance he or she would have to have his or her prayers accepted by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now these are people who have just come back from Hajj fresh, you understand, and like at least what we expect is that their sins are clear, and therefore they are spiritually nearer to God, and therefore we need their prayers.
We need their prayers.
We need their prayers. So when we go to see them, to greet them, the most important that we need at that particular junction will be for them to pray for us, at least to repeat it. I'm sure in Makkah they were praying for us, but at least to pray for us. And then normally they come with Zamzam, and we all know that Zamzam is holy water, and traditions have it very clear that Zamzam, is lima shuribal. I mean, whatever your purpose is when you drink it, you will get it from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You get the Zamzam, small gift that He can give, provided that we don't make it a special obligation. Not the way that people do it today. The way people do it is that when you go to Makkah, you must come with a lot of goodies or gifts to give to people. It becomes a social obligation, particularly when people come to see you before you go, and they give you some cash, they give you some gift. So in return, when you're coming, you must bring it, even if you don't have it. You see, sometimes people, when they bring certain things, and because of the airline regulations, even if they have the cash, they may be able to bring as much as they can. And when they exhaust what they have, they go to the market and buy more in order to give to people. That is not part of it. I mean, that is too far. Let's have the principle that when somebody is going to Makkah and you go to see him, you do that for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you have anything to give, you give for the sake of God. Full stop, period. When he comes, whether he gives you anything, he doesn't give you, you don't care. You can go and greet the person, you can drink Zamzam, you can share some time together, and then let him pray for you. So I think this is, something that one can say that one would expect from the Hujjaj if you want to be in line with the teaching of Islam.
Osas, you've touched on two very, very important areas here. Number one is the gifts.
Yes.
They give out, you understand, and what people expect from them. On the expectation, as you've said here rightly, some will, because when the Ujaj was going to Mecca, he went to them and said, of course, now I want to embark on this holy journey. They gave the Ujaj something. They are expecting something from him.
Yeah.
If he comes and gives them Zamzam, they say, Johor Madarahana. Or you give them beads, Johor Madarahana Kurus.
Yeah.
You see, and this is creating problems at society level, you understand? Because it creates this hatred between people. Because some will even say, when I went to Mecca, this is what I gave him or her. Now he's back from there. He didn't give me anything. Now, how do you think people can remove these misconceptions and try to correct the situation?
Yeah, I think people got it wrong where they pick it, where they took off from the point of departure. That's where they got it wrong. When somebody is going to Makkah, you go to see him. In Islam, the individual Muslim is taught that you must believe, have complete faith in God, and therefore whatever good deed you do, you did only for the sake of God. You only do it for the sake of appeasing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, pleasing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And if you do it for the sake of God, you don't care about human reward or material reward. It is Allah alone who will reward you. How He's going to reward you is up to Him, not up to you to decide. He can reward you in this world. He can reward you in the hereafter. You can gain the reward here and in the hereafter. But whether human beings praise you or they don't praise you, whether they reward you or they don't reward you, it's not your business. In fact, that's not your objective. So if this is the point of departure for us. So normally when you go to see somebody who's going to Hajj, whether you give money, you don't give money, even the steps that you make to get to him, you do it for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You do it for the sake of God alone. It is not your business whether you are given anything or not given anything. So if this is your attitude, if right from the very beginning, this is this is your approach and your mindset, and then naturally when he comes back, you don't go and see him just for him to or for her to give you something. In fact, some of them, like you rightly mentioned, and then you give zamzam, this only zamzam, or only pray a bit, and some of them will go all the way to look at what you are giving others.
Exactly.
He said, this means that he gives this, he's giving this. But what about others? What about his uncle or her uncle? What about her brother?
And when I went to Mecca, this is what I give him.
Exactly.
Like that,
okay. So that is why I'm saying that we got it wrong from where we departed. So the point of departure is where we got it wrong. So then that means that when you went to see him while he was going to Mecca, you didn't do it for the sake of God. You give money not for Allah to reward you, but for the person going to Mecca when he comes back to bring you goodies. But you see, how do you know? You know, currencies change, keep on changing. The value of the money is not static. Keeps on changing. Prices of commodities can increase. If you give $500 or $1,000, how much of it that you expect that you can get from Mecca? After somebody has spent so much time, so much effort, traveled thousands of kilometers to get to Mecca, spend number of hectic days to do the Hajj rites, all this hectic period, you expect him to still keep you the 1,000 or the 5,000 that you give him, you give her, and then buy a very expensive material for you. So then if this is your objective, come out plainly, tell the person that, look, when you go to Mecca, buy me ABC, and this is the money. You can do that.
Yeah.
If you want to go to Mecca, buy me a jalabia, or buy me something, a watch, a mobile phone, and this is the price. Full stop. But if you give money to somebody who's going to Hajj for the sake of Allah, and your intention is to just help, strengthen him or strengthen her financially, you don't expect any return from him or from her. You should not expect any return from him or from her. Rather, you better expect only a return from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is when you do it for God. But you see, like we said here some time ago, when the faith is defective, and this is the problem, and that is why, sometimes we have serious problem in Islam as a religion and as a civilization. If the faith is defective, everything else will be defective. You understand? If the faith is not genuine, if the faith is not real, is not honest, has a problem, everything else will be defective. And that is where the problem is. But if the faith is sincere, if the faith is genuine and is true, you have a perfect Muslim. He does things, whatever they are, for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And he only expects Allah alone, and he fears Allah alone, and he worships Allah alone. And for him, Allah matters, and what he gets from Allah matters. But what people say about him, how they feel toward him, what they give him, what they don't give him, to him, these things do not matter. He completely relies on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And therefore, sometimes it is important for us to revisit our own faith, to make sure that we believe in Allah, in God, in Islam, the proper way, so that we can do things in the proper way.
We do it as it is ordained, not as we like it.
As we like it, yes. Exactly.
Ustaz, thank you very much for answering that question. Another area here is the issue of titles. Before you embark on this journey, you are called Abu Bakr Dawah.
Ah, yes.
Now you come back, someone sees you and said, Abu Bakr, you said, don't you know that I have been to Mecca?
Yeah.
It creates problems, serious problems.
Yeah.
So is it in the first place necessary?
Yeah, it is not necessary. In fact, when I went myself to Mecca the first time, I got to understand the origin of this Al-Hajj. When people are in Mecca, there are too many. You have millions of people. So the Meccan themselves are the host. If they are in Medina, the Madanites are the host. So wherever you go, you are supposed to be treated by your host. And the host also, it's a point of social duty for them to make sure that they address people and to serve them. So naturally, there is no way where they can know the names of all these people. And that is why, the fact of the matter is that everybody who comes for Hajj is an Al-Hajj. Al-Hajj means a pilgrim, somebody who has come to perform the Hajj.
On the process of
Yes, or it's on the process of doing the Hajj. Al-Hajju. He's doing the Hajj, he has come to do the Hajj. And Al-Hajjatu for the female. So therefore, when they need to address you, they'll just say, Hajj, Hajj, because they want to address you. They don't know your name. Even if you tell them your name, you're talking about millions of people.
They don't even...
There's no way, can cram names. So for the female pilgrims, Hajj